Welcome to the Super Fantastic Show. This is Coach B. Moore, and I'm here with my good friend, Dr. Rodney Ferguson. Hello, sir.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Doc, you're eating.
Yeah, man, I am eating.
But I'm amazed at what you said you found. I could never find that on the go. Tell me what you told me you're eating, please.
Brown rice with some pico de gallo over top, some kale, along with a little bit of spinach, some super greens, if you will, along with some ground sirloin. It is and a little bit of feta cheese. Absolutely fantastic. Good quality, low glycemic index on the carbs, protein, and a little bit of sugar from the feta. We know that anytime you have a OSE, a lactose, it also turns into fructose. But to give you some sugar, but some slow-acting sugar, as well as the brown rice. Pico de gallo for flavor, a little bit of vegetables. I get the core vegetables from the kale and the spinach, some of my super greens, and a little bit more protein from the ground sirloin. Mm-hmm. It is something that allows me to have a super fantastic lunch, for me to also eat for abs, and for me to also stay lean and keep my body by Rodney.
And my immediate question when you told me what you were eating was, oh, did you bring that from the house? I'm amazed that you said no. I know that it's...
As a matter of fact, this is next to a college campus.
Man, let me tell you, when we went to school in Washington, at the time we were in school, in order to find that, we'd have to get in the car or catch a train to somewhere near GW or something, or leave D.C. altogether. It did not exist.
Georgetown, that's right. And what we had to do is go to that I forgot exactly where that Whole Foods was. You had to go to that Whole Foods where you couldn't park. Walk upstairs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one was in there was one in on Columbia Road at the time. That's where it was. Columbia Road. Yeah. Yep. Man. That's a rough existence if you want to eat clean. But let's be honest, what most of us did, especially most of the Howard University community, is we went either to Ho Chi or China Wonder. Ho Chi is Howard China. Howard China, China Wonder. We had that mambo sauce, baby.
Oh man.
I can't tell you what's in mambo sauce right now, and you couldn't get me to eat it for nothing.
Hey, mambo sauce has become a ticket item now. It's that.
Right, no. It has a high price of diabetes, a high price of heart disease, it's a high price of obesity. It has a high price.
That's it. Now, before we get into the topic of today, I have to stop for 1 second. And we were supposed to talk earlier today. I told you I had an issue. I had to slow down, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring it out because it's going to come out of my voice anyway. A guy about my age. I'm going to give you the whole story. So I do obstacle course races. I run a little bit. I like organized athletics. It's one of my things. I like to do it because of the people I meet. I like being active, number one, like you do. You do half marathons. You do marathons. I do obstacle course races. I work with people who, train people who do obstacle course races. I have a good time and I meet a good caliber of people. And I came across this community that I absolutely love. It's the Go Ruck community. And I trained for a good part of the year. And on my most recent birthday, I did my first Go Ruck challenge. It's a big deal. It's kind of a military-based obstacle course scenario with 35, 40 pounds on your back for the whole day. You're doing 12, 13 hours with a bunch of guys under the tutelage of a special forces operator who's teaching you teamwork. The thing that's special about the Go Ruck thing is that you can't do it by yourself. It is absolutely team-based. If the team doesn't win, you're not winning. You're not winning if the team is not winning, period. So I did that. It was an overnight situation. My wife actually, what they call, shadowed the whole event, which means she stayed with us the whole night and watched with a couple other people and just, kind of trailed us the whole night. I think we covered 20 miles on foot with a ton of different obstacles and weights and various PT stops. It's a lot of work, but a lot of team building, a lot of fun. And she was so impressed by what she saw, she said she wanted to do her own. So, shoot. Yes, let's do it. Now,
shoot, go ahead, baby.
That's it. She wanted to do her own. Now, had you asked me 5 minutes before she said that, would I do it again? I'd probably say probably not anytime soon because I really got my butt kicked. But I finished and we did, had a really good time. But they have a light version, which is half the amount of time, It's during the day instead of going overnight. And it really is kind of their starter initiation kind of, put your foot in the water type scenario. You can come in, feel what it feels like to work in a team environment with a little less weight on your back for several, less hours, but you still kind of get the feel of it. So I said I'd do it with her. So maybe a month later after I did the big one, I did the light with her, and it was under the guidance of a guy named Joe Warner, who's about 40 years old, wife, 2 kids, did 3 tours in Iraq, Purple Heart guy, and I just found out earlier this afternoon that Joe actually died about an hour and a half ago. I had no idea he was even sick. The crazy thing about it is, 3 weeks ago, Joe was up and about, bouncing around, doing what Joe does, and apparently he went to the hospital. He was feeling sick, and turns out they put him on dialysis. His organs started shutting down on him, and he got a diagnosis of late-stage lymphoma, and he died today. So I just want to say the stuff we talk about can be entertaining, can be fun, can be thought-provoking, but it all comes down to there's a real seriousness underneath it, and there's a real price to pay, that we are going to pay eventually. But we want you to live a longer life. We want you to live unmedicated. We want you to, live happy and enjoy more moments with your family. And that's kind of why we got together and start talking about stuff. Now, we do talk about crazy stuff, and we're going to talk about all of it. Matter of fact, we're completely off topic today. But I just want to
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. For what you're saying, we're on topic. I think that people sometimes misconstrue that we say because you eat healthy and you exercise, that means you're going to live long. What we say is that, you have a greater propensity to live longer if you are leaner. But what we're really concerned about is not what you eat, but how you live. Mm-hmm. And eating a certain way is based upon an approach or a model of excellence in life. And exercising is based upon an approach of excellence in life based upon, no matter if you believe in Jesus, Buddha, or Allah, or a grand architect of the universe, you have provided that person with more than a modicum of respect, such that you've given me this great thing, this particular body, this particular spirit, that I'm going to enhance what you have given me or show that I appreciate it by giving it the right foods, giving it the proper exercise, by taking the same thing that you do with your car. You're going to wash it, you're going to wax it, you're going to make sure you take care of the tires, the interior and the exterior. Take it in for service. Mm-hmm. Get your dental appointments when you're supposed to. Get your doctor's appointments when you're supposed to. That's what we're talking about when it comes to health and wellness. And then on the spiritual side, sharing that which you learn from the refining process of excellence with other people. And Brother Warner did that.
Absolutely.
He did that.
Big time.
People were enhanced. People were sharpened because his iron sharpened another person's iron, and both got sharper.
That's true.
And what you would hope is that somewhere down the line where it seems like his spirit is not even present because it seems like it has faded, but it is in another person all the way down the line, just to the point that you don't really know that's him. Like he could have a conversation with somebody at a Go Work Challenge, or have a conversation with somebody online, or have a conversation with somebody, or meet someone, and the way that he touched that person is something small that caused that person to touch somebody else. It caused that person to touch somebody else. It caused that person to touch, and that is why we do what we do, so that we can share excellence with others. God bless Brother Warner and his family.
Yes, sir. So, thanks for allowing me my moment. And now on to the topic of the day.
Pudding pops.
A major part of my upbringing. Okay.
Was pudding pops.
Was at the hands. Okay. Both of my parents worked. I was able to come off of school early or on time before they got home, and I can get to the cable box and I can watch shows. And at the time, I'm a man of a certain age, so I'm going to go before kind of maybe some of you may be joining us. I'm going to go back to Chet Kincaid, right? I'm going to go back to the Brown Hornet, Fat Albert, and we can bring it updated, and Bill Cosby himself, the Fatherhood CD, and the Cosby Show. All of these things played major influences, not just in my life, but in the changing of America in terms of opening an eye to the general public that black folks are not a monolithic people, okay? And we have the same problems that you have, and we have the same joys that you have. And yes, we can have two very successful working parents and have the same challenges raising our kids. You know, they had wonderful kids. They made a point to kind of show that they had problems and their kids had issues, just like you and I have, and they covered a litany of issues on race, sexuality, education, you know, as over the different shows. And I want to say, like a buddy of mine said online the other day, I love and really know Heathcliff Huxtable, but I have no idea who this Bill Cosby guy is. So at the time of this recording, go ahead.
That's true. And listen, he made a great point.
Yeah.
And he made a great point. And Heathcliff Huxtable and Fat Albert did a great service for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think somewhere, let me say this, because getting ready to say what I'm going to say, I'm going to get myself possibly electronically and internet crucified. But I want people to have I want people to have a good understanding of people, because I'm married, all right? So in marriage, you're not going to agree with your spouse and everything. Marriage is not 50-50. Marriage is none of those things, none of those cliche things that you hear. The one cliche thing that you hear that is true is they say it's all about communication. But a lot of people don't understand the type of communication that's necessary. It's not communication to agree, but it's communication to understand. And you don't even have to respect the other person's opinion. You just have to try to understand the other person's opinion. Let me tell you something. I love the music of R. Kelly. I've been an R. Kelly fan since 1991. I bought and owned every R. Kelly album. When my wife and I were dating, a lot of the R. Kelly songs were part of our dating time during that chronological time.
Go to that 12 play album. 12 play.
Right. Watch yourself, brother. Watch yourself. I'm a Christian. Hey, you like that? You like that? Oh, but you buy R. Kelly album.
Leave it alone.
No, but I want to make the point that when I got married, one of the highlights of our wedding reception, or how it started off, was R. Kelly's song Fiesta.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when one of my friends, I mean, she just absolutely hates, abhors, and detests R. Kelly now. Used to work for the radio station at WHUR, and she ended up giving me they had some promotional copies of the Fiesta and the Fiesta remix and the instrumental, and she gave me some of those things. And I still remember, she probably doesn't even remember how happy and excited I was to get those particular tunes, because I really enjoy R. Kelly's music.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I remember about the music of R. Kelly doesn't have anything to do with R. Kelly. It has to do with the feelings that I experienced with other people during that music, mainly my wife, and that dating time in that particular period. So when people talk to me about R. Kelly, and they tell me about what R. Kelly did and what R. Kelly didn't do, I'm not saying that R. Kelly did or didn't do those particular things. I don't have anything. Well, you should buy it. Wait, let me tell you something. When I think about R. Kelly, I think about something totally different. It's like the mother whose son ends up becoming a mass murderer. She doesn't think about her son being a mass murderer. She thinks about her son when he was 6, 7 years old or 5 years old playing, or what he was like when she was breastfeeding him. And she thinks about something totally different. So my bias to that situation, it does not make me insensitive to it. You know, it's not like I got a sign up in the air talking about, hey man, I'm down with rape. let's go. No, come on. Stop.
Wait, wait. When somebody's going to say to you, well, if he comes out with an album today, knowing what you know about him, doesn't your purchasing of his album make you complicit in what he stands for or who he is?
I've had that question, and it has been a dilemma of mine. And the reason why I say it is, and I had this conversation with a good friend of mine, and the model that you come from, that you choose to adopt when you choose a certain stance in terms of your religion, is it the person doing it, or is it the spirit inside of the person that makes them do it? And whether people believe in Christianity or not, I mean, I do, so I adopt that particular belief system to the point where is it him that does it, or is it the bad in him or the demonic spirit in him that causes him to do it? Because you end up seeing two sides of that person, which will have someone thinking that everybody is schizophrenic if you choose to adopt Christianity. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is it him that does it, or is it a spiritual battle that he's having that is causing him to do it? Because there are some things that he does that helps a lot of people. And there are people who have been saved, who have had their lives turned around, who have been on the verge of committing suicide. There have been albums that he's had for victims, for people that were suffering in Katrina. That there are things that he supports in terms of what he does. Like, that is not all that he does, nor is it everything about him. Those which are true, those which are false, those are some of the mistakes that he's made. I said, well, those are pretty big mistakes. Yeah, man, there are pretty big mistakes, just like the ones that you and I do that nobody has put on the internet.
So where do you come down on this decision? I understand your statement of the problem.
For me, it's like, am I complicit in all the good that he does too?
Which one outweighs the other?
I don't have a scale of judgment.
Okay. And don't think that me asking or posing that question is because I have to prove it to you.
No, there are people who have object. You got people who are object, but the key is to listen to how people feel about it. Like, I don't support that. I enjoy the music.
Right. And it's funny because I'm going to be a hypocrite this very minute because I fall on two sides of this same issue. Meaning, R. Kelly, can't do it. I enjoy Step in the Name of Love. Don't let it come on right now. I'll dance. I enjoy the 12-play album because of all the good that it has brought me over the years. However, I can't put money towards it, and I can't play it on the radio. If I play it I can't do anything that's going to financially support what overall I feel he is represented by several of his choices. Now, here's where I become a hypocrite. I absolutely love The Cosby Show. If it comes on, I'm going to watch it. Unfortunately, they pulled it off of TV Land. I can't even. It's something I watched as a kid. We watch it, on an off day. We can go between the Bernie Mac show. We can go to the Cosby Show.
Not only that. To this day, I will still pull out the Fat Albert episodes and play them for my kids because there are great lessons in them.
Right.
And if it broke, I go buy it. And if the Little Bill episodes get pulled off the TV, I will go buy the Little Bill DVDs. Are you going to stop your kids from watching Little Bill? They're watching Little Bill?
My kids are too old for Little Bill, but I understand. So here's my hypocrisy, because both of them have egregious crimes. One of them, I really don't know if the R. Kelly crime has been proven, but we do have video.
Here's the thing. There's an article that's on the internet right now, a very good one, that's called The Death of an Expert. And the reason why it's called the death of an expert, because there are people in certain fields who have expertise. And then there are people who can get on the internet and they can speak from an expert position or as they are experts. Mm-hmm. Now, neither you and I are police officers. However, when we speak about our expertise as being African-American males in a community. Because we're African-American males in the community, somebody comes and speaks based upon saying that, well, you're an African-American male, but I'm an expert on being an African-American female. And then another person says, well, yeah, you all are African-Americans, but listen, I am a white male, I'm a white female, and this is how I see the thing. And the other person says, yeah, but all of you all saw the Eric Garner thing from the lens of an African-American male, African-American female, white male, but I am telling you how I see it as a police officer. And as a police officer, this is what it is. And then one person says, well, as a trial lawyer and a judge, this is how I see it, this is how I thought it, and this is how the law sees it. Now, everybody has their view as an expert, but the only expert in the whole thing, based upon expertise, is the judge. That's the only one who's expert. But when the judge renders his expert decision, not opinion, because he decides, okay? The jury decides, he delivers the decision. Everybody has the ability to disagree or agree with it based upon what they want or would like to happen. Advantage occurs. Disadvantages occur. There are privileged. There are those who are underprivileged. If there are those who are underprivileged, then by default there are those who are overprivileged. I got it, we got it, you got it. But there has to be sometime, somewhere, where somebody has to say, hey, once the thing comes down or once somebody says something or once something, then it has to be true. Because you're not believing what somebody says the truth is does not make your truth any more correct or somebody else false. So what you have to do is you got to say, you know what, Robbie, or you know what, B, or you know what, Jason, or you know what, Larry, or you know what, Suzanne, or you know what, Shaniqua, or you know what, Henrietta, I do not necessarily agree with you. However, I do understand.
Okay, you brought us back to communication understanding. Where are we going?
Where we're going is you got to get to the point where you can't tell people to just F off because they feel different about a situation than you do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, part of what Bill is experiencing. Man, let's take it back. Let's go back. Let's go back. If Michael Jackson was still living and knowing what you believe that you know about Michael Jackson, he decided to do a small concert tour in Europe. He's going to do 5 dates in the United States: L.A., New York, Miami, St. Louis, and Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
You going to make one of the dates?
Now, Mike has been known to have some outrageous tickets, but if the cost of the ticket is non-prohibitive, meaning it wasn't an issue, I'd go.
Right. Now, you go, and Mike has had some of the same issues that R. Kelly had.
I don't know. You know, we disagree on that one.
Right. No. Well, listen, there have been young children or parents who have accused Mike of sexual abuse.
Yes, absolutely. So, yes.
So can we agree? Can we agree on that?
We agree.
And that's dealing with a minor, is underage, it is sexual in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You didn't believe that not one bit, did you?
Not at all.
Why?
I don't know that I can explain my belief.
No, let me tell you something. You can't, because it is a what?
It's a feeling. It's an instinct.
It's a belief.
It's a belief.
And what you have to do is you got to practice tolerance. It's a belief. Like, if you don't really know, if you weren't there, then all you really have is a belief. All these people wouldn't be saying, listen. I'm with you. I understand. Now, what you always have to do is you got to put yourself on the opposite side of the coin and ask yourself, if I was in this person's shoes, how would I want to be treated now? Don't just go out and start attacking people.
Mm.
It's different. Like you got Bill. Now, let me tell you the mistake that Bill made. Bill, which is different than, don't get me wrong, Bill has helped a lot of people get money to colleges. What Bill did not do is put a face to his help, meaning he helped little Henry, or he helped little Susie, or he helped little Joseph. Hey, Michael Jackson went to the hospital, helped the kid. You saw Mike there in the hospital with the children doing the thing at the Neverland Ranch. So he put a face with his help. What Bill Cosby did, he put a face with his hand slapping and ass kicking. He came down on the black folks, and he was going to let them know you're not doing right, and your pants are hanging down, and this is why you ain't got no job, and this is what, listen, I'll tell you right now, when the dung hits the rotating ceiling fan, buddy, OJ will tell you who you have in your corner when it's all said and done. Now, when you make the offense again, black folks can't stick by you. You're an idiot. You understand what I'm saying? You need to learn how to, as Snoop Dogg would say, lay low. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, listen, you got one. You got away with one, buddy.
Man.
Right, so you got to lay low. No, he don't lay low. He's larger than life. But let me tell you something. Black folks came to OJ's side, and they didn't have to. Now, when Bill Cosby's dealing with this issue, there's no black folks coming in to help Bill.
You know what's funny? Two things. That when you and I haven't talked about it, but this OJ conversation has come up in conjunction with the Cosby discussion because of the polarity of the issue, the polarizing nature of things. And in rehashing the OJ situation, I remember where I was in 95, 96, whenever that was, when the verdict came down. I remember exactly where I was. I was on Howard University campus. I was in the physical therapy department getting worked on and by some students, in the master's program. And, the verdict came on the radio, and everybody, there was a eruption of emotion. And if you ask me now to go back and tell you why people
erupted like that
and were emotionally charged, it's because the way the arguments were handled, it was no longer about did this human male kill this human female and her lover? Did this husband kill his ex-wife and her lover? It wasn't about that. It was a purely argued racial issue.
Are you gonna put this black man in jail for killing these two white people when you don't have the murder weapon or enough evidence?
And then you get it compounded by Mark Furman, the dirty police officer who was, we know has planted evidence, who has the audio recordings using the N-word. It's no longer about the evidence of the case. It has nothing to do with the evidence of the case. It has to do with how do you feel now that we're challenging you racially along these racial lines. It's Ali Frazier. It's everything. We're going to charge you in this other underlying emotion to numb the impact of the evidence. And that, so much credibility to the attorneys who did that because they really attached us to picking a side on this case.
No, watch this. They actually, quote unquote, played the race card.
Absolutely.
Now let me ask you a question. And I tell people this all the time.
Yes,
both sides did. And I tell people this out the gate. I say, what you don't understand is that the race card is already played by default when the game begins.
That's right.
When my son came out of my wife's womb and he was born and he was brought into this world, the race card was played for him already. Now he needs to be able to trump that card.
Right.
In some cases where he can. He needs to get in the deck and find the big joker. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He needs to find it. Now, what happened in the O.J. Simpson case is they found it. What's happening right now with Bill Cosby is Bill Cosby thought he was the big joker. He's a little joker. And now he has found out that the television station that he talked trash about, that he got on their case about playing rap music, not putting anything edifying on TV. The thing that boosts the careers of Howard graduates like A.J. Calloway, okay? He has talked about that particular network And that network now has to choose whether they want to bury him.
Yep.
Because Tavis will do it.
He released a statement today or said something. You can never read these things. I'm reading on Time's website right now. And, because it's in print, you don't really get the sense of what the man is saying. I can read it with different emphasis on different words, but it speaks directly to what you're talking about. I don't even really know what it means. So let's go over it really quickly. The quote is regarding black media from Bill Cosby. Let me say this. I only expect the black media to uphold the standards of excellence in journalism. When you do that, you have to go in with a neutral mind. So he's appealing to black media now. There's your nod to the importance of the people that he stepped on. There's your nod to black media, saying, hey, BET, TV One, WHUR, I need you to come in with a neutral mind. And he's probably got enough social cachet to say so. And I tell you, for me personally, the card that really hurts you is that Beverly Johnson article, Vanity Fair.
A lot of people say, well, it shouldn't take Beverly Johnson's article to convince you. Well, yes, it should, because you can have a bunch of people come in and say something, and you have Janice Dickinson come in and speak. And when she comes in and speaks, if she doesn't provide it, I'm not saying she's not telling the truth. What I'm telling you is there's no judge, there's no jury. We're talking about social credibility.
That's right.
And social strength. And your ability to influence people and sway people. And when that Vanity Fair article came out, that was a done deal.
Yeah.
It was very hard for me to lean on Bill's side.
Yeah.
After reading that.
You know what's crazy also that comes up is, as you look at the pictures, first of all, this is off color, off topic. I'm going to apologize in advance because you're not going to like what I'm going to say. Number one, I wish they would show pictures of these women then instead of what they look like now. That's all I'm going to say. But when you look at what's going on, there's a credibility issue, like you say, with Beverly Johnson. It's, here's another character that we're familiar with, that we've all, were aware of. I wouldn't say looked up to necessarily. And her story isn't that different from everyone else's story, except for the fact that she got away.
Her story really doesn't say anything.
Well, it says that she knew she was drugged.
It also says she knew that she took drugs back then.
Yeah, she said that.
So, right, of course. So I don't advocate for the devil. Okay, I'm not a devil's advocate guy. Well, here's what I'm telling you. What somebody's going to say is, did you take drugs back then? Yes. Well, did you take drugs that week? Yeah. Do drugs impair your ability to make decisions? Yeah. Is it possible that you could have had something to drink or take drugs the day before that?
How you talking about court of law stuff?
Right. No, I'm just saying. No, listen. That's going to be the possibility. Is it possible that you could have taken drugs that week? Because here's the deal. And if you read books like Thinking Fast and Slow and things about the mind, the way that she sees the story at this particular time, 20 years later, or 40 years later, whatever it was, how she sees that story in her mind, and how much it has changed as she only repeated the highlights to herself in her mind, may not be how it was in Bill's mind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let me jump back for 1 second and tell you why I talked about how they look.
Excuse me.
Here's why I said how they look. Because if you look at the old pictures, I'm already in trouble. I'm already in trouble. But I'm going to buy my way out right now. Why even bring up how they look? Because if you go back and look at the old pictures of Bill, of all the women associated with him, fictional or real, his wife was the most beautiful woman out of all the women ever associated with Bill Cosby in a photo. I mean, you all look back at these pictures, and I'm like, this woman is absolutely drop-dead gorgeous at every opportunity you see her, even today. And she had 5 kids. So, obviously, there's more to it than just physical attraction, okay? But I'm just going to say that Camille Cosby is a beautiful, beautiful woman and has been historically. I mean, by any standards at any given point in time, if you look at her in any time period, that is a gorgeous woman. And yet he's making these choices out here with, hey, very bad choices with what I consider to be lesser attractive.
Hey, can she give fire head, though?
5 kids, man. She did something right.
But listen, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying this to be disrespectful with anybody. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, let's say this. We know people during our Howard University. We call it a career because when you're at Howard, it's a career.
Mm-hmm.
During our Howard University career, we've been. Let's remove ourselves from everything. We've heard discussions when women say, "Oh, my man, he won't go down on me," and blah blah blah, and all this foolishness. So she loves the dude. She's gonna keep him. He's not going anywhere. She's just gonna outsource that part of her thing.
Right.
Because she needs that, and she don't have the time to be teaching him and to get frustrated and go all that stuff. So she just leave it alone. You say you don't want to do it, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
You get on the phone, you call your local neighborhood Q or whoever, and they come and they.
My boy used to say, "Show me a drop dead knockout 10, and I'll show you a dude who's tired of her shit."
Exactly. No. And vice versa. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And vice versa. You got some dude, he's working out there, he done sugar mama the woman up, she got everything that she needs and she's complaining.
Mm.
Or dude's in a great position. I mean, great position financially, great position, the wife looks great, all that stuff. But, the frequency of what he wants during the week isn't as much as he would like.
Yeah.
He's had the conversation 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 15 times, 40 times, 60 times, 190 times. And she's like, I just can't see what the problem is. He needs to be happy. He needs to buy me more flowers. He needs to do this, he needs to do that. And he's like, hey, man, what's that shit? I don't got to buy none of that shit. I go get $20. Get this bad chick over here, a 2 for $2 and some fries.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm good. People don't want to do that. I'm just telling you. And listen, let's go backwards, okay? Listen, don't email me, don't write me, don't be cussing me, and I'm telling you don't agree with me. You don't got to agree with me. Coach B and I give you some conversations that occur when you're not around. But with anybody, anybody. I mean, you're getting the inside. I mean, this is not what I believe. This is what I'm telling you. This is what happens. You understand what I'm saying? Like when we go back, and I'm going to get to my point, it's like when Coach B said, well, here's why I'm a hypocrite on the R. Kelly thing and the Bill Cosby. It's not about him. There's droves of people who that happens with. We're talking about Roddy Ferguson and he still likes R. Kelly's music. There's droves of people who still enjoy R. Kelly's music. Yeah, they enjoy R. Kelly's music. Yeah. Well, it's out. Now, let me say this about Bill. What you don't hear Bill saying, and this is the part that a lot of black women have, and I can dig it, when they talk about the power situation that Bill is in. Like what Bill is saying is, go with me on this, and I'll take care of you.
Mm.
That's what that's saying.
That's
Anybody who has the ability to buy NBC, but NBC declined. Anybody who had that ability back then, Bill hasn't lost money, buddy.
Right.
And Bill still played to a packed house.
What's funny is that's what he's saying now, and that's also what he said. That was the unspoken contract in all these ladies' stories. It was never, I met him in a nightclub and I didn't have any aspirations. I just wanted to be with Bill that night because he's a superstar. It was, I was an aspiring actress. Or he told me I could sing, and he wanted me to come and sing to him. Or I was going to come and act this part or read these lines. So there was that unspoken contract then too. It's just funny that that's the same contract that he's saying now.
Man, let me tell you something, man. I hate to put it to you. Just like I'm never gonna, publicly, I'd never give people the truth, man, about athletics because why? 100,000 people in the stands, and they're there for the lie. They're not there for the truth. Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys the truth. The truth is that the ability to get sometimes where you need to go in Hollywood involves a lot of ucking and ucking. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave the S and the F off for you so you can put it together yourself. And that's the truth. And both B and I have friends who are in Hollywood and on the periphery of Hollywood who can tell you that they chose not to do that or go in that direction. They wanted to maintain their morals and their ethics, and they are maintaining a level of unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that you have to do that to get in, because you don't have to. There are some people who don't. But I'm telling you that in the industry, that is what it involves a lot of the time.
That is a currency.
It's a currency, man, that some people utilize. And those individuals who did that particular thing with Bill Cosby, you always have, I mean, when you're reading it with a critical eye, you got to always ask yourself, what were they expecting to get in that space? Did they expect they were just going to meet Bill and Bill was going to do them a solid?
Right. And to laser focus in on this thing, I don't have a problem with any of that. I mean, I'm not married to the guy, so I shouldn't have a problem with that. I have no problem with all of that. Repeat that transaction 50, 100 times over a 50-year process of meeting women, that social exchange of I'll help you out, you wash my back, I'll wash yours. I have no problem with that, and I should, because I'm not his wife. The part where it really gets wrong, the threshold, the line, the cliff from which where the ground drops out beneath his feet is when he takes the choice away from these ladies in these stories. With the drugging. I mean, this dude has some serious fetish stuff going on, number one.
Correct.
And second, you took the choice away, and that is really the ground in which there is no defense in these stories. So, I know Heathcliff Huxtable. I love Theo, Denise, Lisa, Monet. She gets her own thing. Woo! You know, Russell, love him. But this Bill Cosby guy, I just don't know. I don't know him. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever eaten dog before?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Well, some people say dog tastes good. A lot of people eat dog. And how you and I feel about dogs is based upon what we've learned about dogs. Societally, we domesticate dogs. Other people don't. You ever eaten cat?
Not that I know of.
Cat, yeah, you know, the four-legged cat walking around. Praise the Lord. You don't know if you're eating cat or not either. But you feel a certain way. If somebody brought out a roasted dog on the table, you feel a certain way because you've been conditioned to feel a certain way about dogs and cats.
Right.
Just like you feel a certain way if you see a older man married to a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old. You feel a certain type of way. But other countries don't have that. That's a learned thing. I'm not getting into if it's right or if it's wrong. That's not my issue. I live in the United States. So my thing is it illegal or is it illegal? And then on my religious side or with my moral compass, I choose right or wrong. And if you look at Kohlberg's theory of moral development, you'll see that there's a lot of gray area in what someone believes is moral or immoral, especially as it relates to how they see the world or see things. So, is it wrong for the old white guy to do the mail-ordered bride thing from the young 18-year-old Russian lady or lady from Asia over and bring her in the United States? Is that wrong? Is it wrong to leave and go over to a different country where you can have underage sex and have underage sex with people and then come back? You do understand that thing that somebody else does that's a mental sickness and a mental disorder.
Yeah.
Like what Bill does, if that is what Bill does, that's a mental sickness and a mental disorder.
Yeah, definitely.
If R. Kelly does what he does, and on some level you have to agree that's what he does, because that's what happened with Aaliyah with the documents and the documentation. But because what he does, you do understand that he's conditioned to think like that.
Right. He's got a problem.
He has a perceived problem for us, because he could live somewhere else and that would not be a problem. like if you're in your backyard and you are cutting up dogs and eating them, that's a problem, right? It's a problem.
If you're in the States, I hear you. If you're here, but if you're in some Asian country where that's acceptable,
it's not a problem.
Right.
It's not a problem. He said,
boy, don't try that here, buddy.
No, but no, ooh, boy. Listen, you are so privileged that you don't have to go that far down on the food chain in order to eat. That's a privilege. Now, what you would hope is that people don't think like that. But people do think like that. And we call those people sickos. We call them sick. Unfortunately, what some of those people are geniuses. And, as I told one of my friends before, but a genius comes with a price. What makes you think that a superior athlete can line up on a line or line up and play a thing against other people, and in his mind, he just believes that he's supposed to crush, defeat, beat, win, and slaughter everyone else? That mindset doesn't happen that day. That mindset happens through practice. It happens in life. And that might not be the type of person you like.
Right. Years of conditioning, years of belief, unchecked power.
Unchecked.
Mm-hmm.
The people say, well, they shouldn't be. Well, do you think that an international superstar should walk up to the line at the club and wait in line with you?
Heck no.
I'm asking the question. No, what gives him the right? Huh? What gives him the right to walk to the front of the line and walk in the club? Don't you know? Do they not see that you're waiting there too? Well, the same thing that makes that okay, in their mind, makes everything else okay. Because if Michael Jordan gets out of the car and he goes and walks to the front of the line, nobody says, "Hey, Mike! Hey, motherfucker! You saw us waiting here, and you, Mr. fucking doorman, you know better. And I'm leaving because I've been disrespected."
Some jackass might say that. They're not getting in that night. They're not getting in.
No, listen. Please fix your statement from that night to they're not getting in.
They're never getting in.
Ever. They're never.
We got you on video. You're never getting in here. Ever.
Not only are you not getting in, but the people that you came with aren't going to walk out the line with you.
As you're talking, they're slightly inching away from you.
Correct, because of the social pressure.
Yeah.
So as much as I like R. Kelly, do I share any R. Kelly YouTube videos of mine on my Facebook, on my social media and stuff like that? Do I? Even when I like the songs?
I haven't seen them.
No, I can't. The social pressure has constructed what I do. People say, well, you can do whatever you want. No, you can't. Because once, Robert Cialdini, psychologist for Sweden, once 3 or 4 people come in and team up on you, you're done. They don't have to be right. They just have to be together.
That's it. You start to back away slowly.
Exactly. You know, I was like, I peep shit till I fall back. You understand what I'm saying?
That's the cost-benefit equation we were talking about earlier.
Correct. I said, man, this isn't working.
Now, to touch back briefly on why I went to OJ. You went to OJ. I followed up with OJ. In retrospect, with a clear head, I don't stand next to OJ. My politics, my perspective, don't side on the side of the line with OJ. The side of the line with justice. And at the end of the day, OJ has got to be one of the dumbest motherfuckers we've ever had in the public eye, that we've quote-unquote claimed. Because after getting away with his travesties and crimes or whatever he may or may not have done, this guy goes off, has a pension, can live his life, playing golf in Florida, whatever he wants to do. He goes off to a memorabilia signing event, and he gets set up by one of his quote-unquote boys who says, hey, there's a guy upstairs that has some of your memorabilia, and he stole it from you. You need to go get it. Here's a pistol. Give me the pistol. And goes upstairs.
Hey, hold on a second. Give me your OJ voice one more time.
Give me the pistol. He takes the pistol and goes upstairs while they're recording him, and he goes upstairs to get his memorabilia back with a pistol. Dude, you just got out of court. Now look where he is.
Out of jail. You just got out of jail.
Come on, man.
That's a classic. Come on, man.
Come on,
man.
I can't side with you based on the fact of the color of your skin. I need to side on the side of justice and right. And that's where I land on this Ferguson stuff. That's where I land on Mike Brown. That's where I land on Bill Cosby. That's where I land on things. What is just and right?
It's a difficult show today. What is just and what is right? And I lie within the middle. I lie in what is just right. and the amount of time you pause between the words just and right is a huge difference. I rely on what is just right, or what is just right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, man, that's a huge dilemma, man. It's a huge dilemma. I think you made a quality point, man, as we do the second close on the R. Kelly situation and the Bill Cosby comparison. On the one hand, you won't do one. On the one hand, you do another.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
I
saying?
think one of the things there's a huge difference in the disbelief, the fantasy separation. Meaning, Cosby's always playing a character. Cosby's always a character. He's never himself.
And listen, and neither is R. Kelly.
Well, we don't separate that in our heads, maybe not as much. I mean,
you would have to be an R. Kelly fan to do that, because there's a difference between Robert Kelly, the person, the dad, you understand what I'm saying, and R. Kelly, the entertainer. Like that, when you like, if you just get snippets and pieces because you're not into the person like that, you don't understand the religious background, the beliefs, the problems, the history, the growing up, the not having a father, and stuff. Like he gets into all that stuff if you do the interviews. But if you're not a fan, you don't get that. You just get the pieces. I remember my mom was listening to his music one day, and she said, "That's a very troubled young man." I said, "Why?" I said, "Why do you say that?" It was about 10, 15 years ago. She said, "I could really hear it in his voice, and he doesn't have a father." I said, "How you know that?" She said, "I've been living long enough that you can see young men, you can hear them, she said, you can experience their countenance without being in front of them and understand what they're lacking." She said, I can see clearly he's hurt. She said he sings from a place of pain, and he don't have no man in his life. You can listen to the lyrics and the words. He doesn't have a man in his life. Now, I don't know if she was talking about the misogyny of the lyrics or how sexual they were or things like that, but she just hit the whole thing.
Right.
But, my mother's older than I am too, so she's seen R. Kelly before.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? She's seen enough people that she has seen R. Kelly before. I tell you what, man, when you're young, when you're 16 to 18, 20, you don't really give a shit about nothing. You don't care about nobody's protests, problems, or issues.
You don't realize they're yours.
Yeah, yours. Then you hit 20, 35, man, you fucking fighting against every fucking thing. I did the same thing. I mean, you find a motherfucker try to help you out. You say, "What the fuck are you looking at, motherfucker?" You say, "Hey, man, your shoes untied, man. I just try to help you before you fall out." It's like, man, I mean, I was that dude, man. And then when you get closer to 40, man, you start thinking about, hey, man, listen, I understand. And this is what happens. You have a crew of your people. You got a crew of friends that have children, and they're still out there on the protesting deal, hardcore. Then you have another crew that has kids, and they're more concerned about their children, their hut, their family, their clan, etc. You have this clashing of perspectives. why aren't you out there marching? Why aren't you doing this? And why aren't you doing that? You're like, hey, I got the moral class. I got to come back. I got to have dinner with the wife. I got date night. I got this.
Mm-hmm.
What about this? You got it. Yeah, but I got this. And then you got the single man or the single woman with his or her kid, or a person who's single out there that's doing that. I say, hey man, listen, that's what you're supposed to do. The Bible says the affairs of a single person are the church, meaning all the people. So the affairs of a married person, man, is his wife. I'm doing right by making sure that my house is right. I'm not doing right by making sure that everybody else on the street is right. Now, if everybody else was the way they're supposed to, and that's the underlying argument of the two-parent home from the Christian perspective or point of view or conceptual framework, if you will. But I can't go out and protest everything. That doesn't mean I'm in agreement with everything that you're protesting. Wait, we don't have time for that. What you got time for? I got time for Rufus's play on Tuesday. And I got time to sit down and do the tea party with little Radhi on Wednesday night at the house. I got to sit down and watch these movies and watch Frozen again with the daughter. Then I got to sit down and wrap up all these gifts under the tree. While I got gifts all around the house, hidden in certain places, under the bed, in the closet. Hey, I got to do all of that. Yeah, I know. You got God kids. I know. I understand. You come in there and you drop off, you play Santa Claus for a day and you're gone. I get it, man. I'm no problem. And we appreciate what you do. But come on, man. I'm upset about Bill too. But I'm not. I'm just. You got it like that. Mm-hmm. I just want to sit down for a moment, listen to a little R. Kelly on my couch, my wife under my arm, and sit down and think about when we used to be 22. That's it. And for me, that's a super fantastic evening.
That's it. I love it.